Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year! Happy New Year! It's your boy Dave Life. It's Dave Life, and we're back with another episode of After Dark. Man, I appreciate y'all. Let's get up into it. Yeah. There it is. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's the After Dark podcast. It's the After Dark podcast. I'm your host, Dave Life, and we are watching After Dark episode number 333. After Dark episode number 333. Dressing the part. Dressing the part. Look, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us tonight, man, and I want to say thank you for that. Let's start this off, y'all, like we always do, the right way. Dear Heavenly Father, have your way, Lord. I pray that you would speak to your people, Lord. I pray that you would enlighten us, entertain us, and inform us. I pray that we'd have a great conversation tonight, Lord. I pray less of me and more of you. Let me get out of the way. Forgive us of our sins that we've committed by both commission and omission. Charge it to our heads and not our hearts. We give you all the praise, glory, and honor in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for everybody. It's our podcast. I'm your host, Dave Life. What I want everyone to do on TikTok, I want you to grab your Daily Heart Me. Grab your Daily Heart Me and tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend that we're live. Let's forward this out. Let's get it out to the FYP. If you would like to support After Dark and the After Dark podcast, you can hit us right now on Cash App. It's been below at $ Dave Life TV. You can hit us on Venmo at Dave Life. And if you're here on TikTok, you can also grab your Daily Heart Me and then, like I said, help us with our goals and help us get to our 10,000 tap goal tonight. And show your support and your engagement that way. I want to bring up a few people. I've got a few people that's going to help me out tonight. The topic is dressing the part, and that's important. Again, this is episode number 333, dressing the part. Dressing the part, I have it pinned down there below. Let's bring up a few people that's going to help me out. I see right now my sister from another mister. She's in the building. She's going to help me out here. Come on to the stage in 2026. Lady Cupid. Welcome in, Sandra. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Dave? Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy. Oh, you got on the Bears jersey. Come on now.
And mine is special. Mine is special. So, it was made for me.
Lady Cupid. Okay. All right. What number you got? 14 on the front?
Yeah, for the day of my birthday. Yeah.
Okay. And I got on 12. I'm in reverse, but I got on 12th day of my birthday, and I got Dave Life TV on the back. So thank you for that. Welcome in, Destiny. I see you, babe. We got some people on TikTok. Welcome in, Nilson. Welcome in, Torcia. Y'all go ahead and forward this out to everyone. Let them know that we are live. I got my brother from another mother. He's in the building. Let me know. Wave at me, Shirai. Let me know when you're ready. I got to bring him up when his camera's on. So when he's back, I'll bring him up. How was your New Year's and your Christmas holiday, Sandra? I know it's been a while since we've been back.
Yeah. Good, quiet, relaxing, home with my parents this year.
Okay.
First year in a long time I got to bring in the New Year with them and spend Christmas with them. So.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Man, we got 35 people watching right now. I see we got, let's see. We got a bunch of people on YouTube right now. So shout out to everybody that's watching on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's watching on X and everybody that's watching on TikTok. So let me see. I'm going to add Sherrod. Where you at, Rod? You there, big dog? Okay, not yet. He's not quite ready. So I'll bring him up when he's ready. Man, it's a lot happening in the news today. Yes. A lot happening, and I really considered going over it. I don't know if you know, Sandra, but I've been doing a new radio show on TikTok in the mornings. It's called the Dave Life Morning Show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been good, yes, man. We've been up at 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning on the West Coast, 8 in the morning on the East Coast. I'm doing an hour and a half before I get out and get into my day job. But it's a good thing because people are able to join. And, it's a morning crew, so it's a different feel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm going to forward this on TikTok to everybody that's watching. Hold up.
Yeah, you have to send it to me too, so I can be able to get the notification, so that way I can catch it.
Oh, in the morning show?
It's the middle of the morning for me at work, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. After Dark podcast is live. Let me just forward this to a few people. And I'm sure we're going to have other people pulling up. I'll put it in the group chat, so I'm sure they'll get with me. Did you hear about what's going on in Minneapolis?
Yes. Renee Good? Yes, I heard about it.
Yeah. For those that don't know, ICE agents went and were attempting to, I don't know what they were doing. I don't even know what the operation is called. I guess they were trying to find people that were illegal to try to deport them and gather them up. And they were in a neighborhood in Minneapolis. And they stopped the car with a white female that was driving. Mrs. Good is her name. And unfortunately, the way it went down, they tried to tell her to get out the car. I guess she got scared and tried to pull away. And one of the agents stepped out in front of her vehicle. And as she tried to pull away, he let off 3 shots and she lost her. You know, she was unalived. And that's rough. You know what I'm saying? That was rough. And there's a lot of visceral reaction, not unlike George Floyd. It also happened in Minneapolis. But the thing is, this is an American citizen. And a lot of people are questioning whether or not ICE and their tactics are lawful, are humane, are reasonable, or is it an excessive abuse of power and excessive force? We talked about it today on the morning show, so I didn't want to do it tonight on the podcast just because it was covered. But I did want to mention it, so give me your reaction. Come on up to the stage, Sherrod. Give me your reaction, Sandra, to that incident with Mrs. Good.
It was hard to watch because I saw the video. It was hard to watch, and I pay attention to a lot of different things, and it's all coming out in the media, and they're showing how, she was turning away from the officer, and he was standing in front of the vehicle. There's just no. To me, I can go into a bunch of different things about it, but to me, it seems as if things are being escalated and started purposely in order to enact other things that they want to do. And I don't want to speak on the government, so I just
welcome in, Sherrod. Welcome in, man. Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year, y'all. Hey, Lady Cupid, how you doing?
Good. You done stuffing your face?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Get them bangs out your eyes. Get them bangs out your eyes.
They're out.
All right. What's going on? How y'all doing? Hey, lifers, what's going on?
Man, we're good, man. We got a number of people watching on YouTube. We got people watching on TikTok, on Instagram. Welcome in. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. So Sherrod, we're just reacting just real quick before we get into the topic tonight. We're getting into the news of what happened in Minnesota with Renee Good and the ICE incident. So just give us your reaction to that. We talked about it. I don't know if you know Sherrod, but I've been doing a morning show on TikTok called the Dave Life Morning Show. It's been going really well. But we talked about it today. So I just wanted to cover it a little bit tonight, and then we can get into the actual topic of the evening. What's your reaction to that incident?
Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. I see no reason why the 5th of November should ever be forgot. I want everyone to get a chance to go and watch V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is a movie about Guy Fawkes, who tried to blow up Parliament back in the 17th century, 1600s. And it centered around religion, but it also centered around the government got bigger than the people that it served. And the government should never get bigger than the people that it served. Why is this important? That movie came out 25 years ago, and the exact same thing that we're going through now. Fingermen on the street, telling people to have a curfew, who's right and who belongs in a country. That it was already depicted. What we're having a problem with is our government is starting to get bigger than the people that it serves, and people are getting tired of it.
Yeah.
And when people get tired of it, that's when extra violence is happening. I was in the government, I was in the military, I understand it. We don't live in a society where people are you going to go bang in the middle of the night and people ain't knocking back. This ain't the we shall overcome movement where people are going to go quietly in the night. People are going to fight back. And I hate that we're in this position because that young lady lost her life because she was trying to protect her neighbor. So is she is she the keeper of thy neighbor? Do I help my neighbor? So she's probably somewhere in heaven right now, like, woo, I should have came up here later. I thought I was coming later, but obviously somebody else had another plan for me. It's
Mhm.
unfortunate. It's very sad. And this is bigger than just people who are here illegal or not illegal. It's a political ploy. And I don't like it because we're not playing with people's jobs. We're playing with people's lives, their livelihood, their lineage, their children, and it's bad. And not only is it bad, it's very sad. But this is not the first time we've seen this in Minnesota. Thank you, baby. This is not the first time we've seen this in Minnesota. We saw this with George Floyd.
Yep.
If you really want to go back in history, when you start talking about Black Wall Street in 1922 and what happened in 21 and 22 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Minnesota had a Black Wall Street too. They took that down. So this
Mhm.
is a constant theme in Minneapolis, Minnesota, or surrounding in Minnesota, right? Why is
Mhm.
that? Like, why is this such a it's a safe haven for people, but yet and still we find a way to keep going back in there. But why though, right? It's just
Mm.
unfortunate. It's sad, man. It's sad. Soon as we think we're turning around and we doing something, we go invade other countries that is unlawful. We go and do things in Minnesota all because and I'm glad the governor acted the way he did. I'm glad that he showed that he was grotesque. I'm glad that he showed that he was frustrated, and I'm glad he used his words to show that. Like get the f out my city, man. Get the f out
Mhm.
our state. Like to a certain extent, the people that we should be going after and we should that are habitual line crosses, we're not going after them. We're going after innocent people who have been registered here for years, man. I just think it's wrong, man. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Somebody just rang the doorbell. Who's in here? Okay, come on up in here, Sophie Rose. Come on, Sophie. Sophie Rose,
Hello.
welcome in.
Hey,
Uh
I'm sorry. I'm moving around.
oh. Okay. All right. Well, welcome in, Sophie.
Welcome.
Sophie has been helping with the morning show. You guys, she's just done her first week, and now we're on week number 2 of the morning show, and we talked about it this morning. Sophie, you want to share some thoughts before we get into the topic tonight? Is actually going to be something different related to it's going to be related to dressing the part. And if you guys have been paying attention to the
Oh,
news, you have an idea of where I'm going with that dressing the part. Um, so, Sophie, before we get into the dressing the part right here, what's your reaction to what happened with ICE?
fear.
We talked about it this morning, but give me your take on ICE and what happened with Renee Good.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that somebody had to be unalived. Um, I think I agree with Rod on how it's just it's he's become bigger than the program. But I must still say, like I was saying this morning, this was an accidental death. And what I mean by that is that their intentions is to take, the black and brown people or people who are just um who are not supposed to be here. So I did see that there was an agitator, and that sometimes, most times, heightens the entire situation. And if that person was um of a darker melanin, I think the same result would have happened. And I'm just curious. I needed to go back and do the math on it, on all the immigrants or black and brown people that have been detained and were unalived. How many of them were actual citizens? Because I'm still trying to understand why the mayor had to get up and say, "Hey, get the f out of our country." I
Oh,
mean,
that was the mayor.
at
That
our
wasn't
state.
that was the mayor. That wasn't the governor. I stand
Oh,
corrected. I thought it was the governor.
okay, okay. So the mayor, he's saying that, but who else said it for an immigrant? No one's advocating for them. Yes, if you're not supposed to be here, you need to leave. But you need to die before you get deported.
Right.
You know. And what
Yeah.
about them? So, God bless the dead. And I didn't know she was a neighbor. So that makes it almost like, really, it really adds fuel to the fire. This situation is getting bigger than the program. I don't think it's their intentions to kill people. I think it's their intentions to meet their quota, make their money. As we discussed, they make how much, Dave? $150,000.
Yeah.
And
Plus
they
a
make a
$50,000 bonus.
Yeah, bonus. So they're trying to meet their quota, and it apparently by any means necessary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you know what though too, Sophie, if I can add to it, Happy New Year too. How you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
think
beautiful.
I think what their goal and intent is to instill fear. I think they're trying to fear people to leave, and it's not working. So therefore, we gotta up the ante. Because when you see people starting, like, what are you willing to die for, right? Like,
Mhm.
are you willing to die to stay in America? Are you really willing to die to stay here? Well, some people are, because they can't go back to where they came from for a number of reasons, whatever they may be. Either they don't want to go back, they might be facing some criminal charges, or it's just a better way of life. They just can't come back because they don't have a means to do anything with their life if they do. But like, I think the whole process, excuse me, is to instill fear, is to instill a robust amount of fear into individuals that say, you know what, I don't want what happened to me, what happened to Juan. So let me go ahead and get up out of here. And it ain't working. It's not working at the alarming rate that administration think it or thought it would happen at. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it
Very
is. It is. Yeah, man. So I'm keeping an eye on the situation because I feel like it's, like you said, it's bigger than what we think, and this is the type of powder keg that can, blow up in the face of America. I know we got elections and midterms and stuff coming up, but even beyond that stuff, just that whole idea of a police state. You know what I'm saying? The idea that they can just use all types of unnecessary force to try to forcibly remove, immigrants. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a problem. Let me shout out to everybody that's watching. I see a few people watching right now. ASMR sounds, welcome in, welcome in. I see people watching on YouTube. Um, Jimmy Armstrong, Weird, Logan, welcome in, everybody. Um, shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out. They're saying that the car blocked ICE agents. She should not follow them and block them.
I agree.
Yeah, you could say that, you know what I'm saying? But I also saw how she was trying to get away from whatever ICE was trying to do. I didn't see anything. I don't know how ICE was performing their duties prior to that incident, but it looked like she was trying to leave. She let a car go in front of her. She was trying to leave, and for some reason, they just decided they didn't want her to leave. You know what I mean? And then we saw what happened from there. And I believe the officer that stepped in front of her vehicle wasn't in any sort of danger. He just stepped in front of her vehicle to try to strong arm. And her reaction, maybe it was fear. I don't know. But as she tried to leave, he took it as aggression. And then he went to the furthest. There's ways to stop a vehicle. You can shoot the tires. You can F1. You can pow the tires. You can do things like that. You don't have to, go for the head. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary use of force, in my opinion, and it's very tragic. And I can't say, just like with George Floyd, I can't say that the person that lost their life was doing anything that warranted them losing their life. I can't say that. People gonna spend it how they want. And that's the disgusting part about it. You have the government spending it the way they want to spend it. You've got, people that's supporting the president and supporting ICE coming out and saying, oh, she was an agitator. Man, I don't
She's a
care. I don't
casualty of
care.
war, is what she is.
That's
She's
exactly what she is.
like I said, it was the intent was not, but there was an agitator, and like I tell my children, or when they get of age to drive, I would tell them follow the directions. Make sure you don't say anything. Follow the directions. Put your hands on 10 and 2. Have all that ready. And it could be some of the other why
Yeah, other
that
persuasion.
they had, that they could just go ahead and speed off.
Yeah.
Would somebody of a different color, would they have sped off? I think not.
Mm-mm.
I
Well,
think we
yeah,
would have stood there and been detained because we know what can happen. So I think
yeah,
it was an accident. And what I'm saying by that is their intentions is to not unalive their own. That's
yeah,
not who they're looking for. This would not be headline news all over the world if she wasn't the complexion that she was, because there has been evidence of other people, whether they're illegal or not, that have been unalived.
yeah. And I agree with that. And I think us as black people in America, and I'll say also black and brown, but especially black, um, we know when the officers pull up. Like I said this morning, officer can be a derivative of overseer. KRS once said that in a classic hip hop song. So when black people see officers that are aggressive, we immediately say, "Oh, I've seen this. It's in my DNA. I've seen this before.
Hmm.
Let me just let me try to comply, right? And even when you try to comply, you can still end up losing, being unalive. So, yeah, I think we as black people are familiar with strong arm tactics and we know how to navigate it. But it's a sin and a shame now that other races are now realizing what the stuff that we've been through, and seeing it firsthand. Because back in the day, other races didn't necessarily, especially the majority, right, in this country, didn't get strong armed the way we get strong armed historically.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a shame that she lost her life in that manner. Um, man, yeah, I really hope, and this is what I wanted to say too about law enforcement. At least police officers are being trained. We could say, I have no idea what these ICE agents are trained for. I have no idea what their experience are. I don't know if they just some, gung ho enthusiasts that signed up and got the job and got the bonus. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're former officers who failed and couldn't cut the mustard in their departments. I don't know if they had disciplinary actions against them. We have no idea what's going on because they out here wearing masks like they're Antifa. And that's the problem. You got these people pulling up with badges in masks, unmarked cars, and it's like you don't know what's going on. You're like, hold on, what's happening? And yeah, they might have on vests by the time they approach you, but they're approaching aggressive, and so you have no idea what this could turn into. So I could see a woman, especially, being afraid. Like, yo, hold on,
Mhm.
let me get out y'all way. Y'all ain't looking for me. I'm an American citizen, and you thinking everything is safe, and then this happens. So I
Well,
think ICE,
you got,
man, they got to do something different.
well, you have to remember who ICE agents are, right? So let's look at the root of it. They are immigrations and customs enforcement, right? That's who they are. So it's almost like taking police officers, prior police officers in some capacity, or taking former military folks in some capacity, because they probably have some level or degree of like homeland security background or some type of military or law enforcement background,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
They were on the border. The majority of them are supposed to enforce the borders. So they would be kind of like boots on ground, the equivalent of like the Coast Guard on our waterways and breezeways.
Mhm.
Now, what you've done is you've taken them off the front lines in their natural habitat or their natural environment, and you brought them into inner cities where people have been colonialized or they've been kind of like not indentured or looking for a pass like they were crossing a border, whether it be coming from Juarez to El Paso or coming through some parts of Texas. They're taking them out of their environment and putting them into metropolitan cities. So in other words, they're taking somebody from the farm, a country boy, and putting them in the cities and say, now do the same thing you were doing on in the country in the city. You can't
Yep.
act the same way. You have to have it's a different mindset. And they probably haven't been trained effectively long enough to and understand an urban environment as opposed to a rural environment. Not all. ICE is not just on the borders. There are other places too, and they fall underneath Homeland. But maybe they're training because you remember they ramped up ICE agents really quick,
Yeah.
making them more robust. But they found a way to take them away from what they were intended to do, and now they're policing cities. Well, they're not metropolitan police. They might not have the same mindset as a cop that does this every day. That's a beat cop,
Yep.
right? Who has a different level of understanding and training when it comes to conflict resolution, right? Because those are things you have to take and train for. So, like, I was in certain organizations. I was in certain parts of the military, like, and then we had mottos. It was like, "Hey, common sense rules the day, man." Like, you talk everybody down. The first term is not to go. We don't escalate. We de-escalate, right? And
Mhm.
then there's sometimes that, hey, some people need killing. This ain't one of them times. That was with terrorists and other things, right? We even
F1.
had shirts with it.
F1. We got to say unalive. We can't use the K word. So
Oh, you can't use the K word?
nah, because TikTok is real particular. Yeah.
Oh, so unalive. Jesus
Unalive.
Christ. Unalive.
I know.
I don't even know what
It's
that
crazy,
means.
right?
Sophie, I heard you say unalive. I was like, what does that mean? I don't even know what unalive means. That's all right. So unalive. So I mean, some people need to be unalive. And then some people don't. This is not one of them cases, man. It's unfortunate, but I mean, could I go and be a ICE agent today? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's certain criteria for it, but I think they need more training. But
Yeah.
but this administration is not allowing for that matriculation to happen in a normal process. They've shortened that time frame because they're trying to get a message and a point across really
Hmm.
quick. You got to remember, this is something that's ramped up over years and decades, if not. When you talk about reform, and especially when it's talk about immigration reform, that's why no president really wants to touch immigration reform, because outside of indentured people, or I mean, outside of people who are here, born here, blacks, Native Americans, things of that nature, we all immigrants,
Right. Hmm.
right? To a certain
Hmm.
extent, we all
Hmm.
immigrants. So
Hey, I want to say welcome in to Superman Dre. What's up, Dre? Welcome in, man.
What's up? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Happy New Year, my guy.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
So the topic tonight is going to be dressing the part, and we're going to talk about Pastor Jamal Harrison Bryant and his wife. But I just wanted to take a few minutes to address what happened in Minneapolis with Renee Good, the young lady that lost her life in a, I don't know if I can't even call it a standoff, in an incident with ICE agents. Dre, give us your take on that before we move on to tonight's topic.
Honestly, I've seen it, and it's funny how people can all watch one video and come up with a million different things that they saw or didn't see. I always tell people to put themselves in the perspective of the ICE agent, what was going through their head and all that. They say, well, people always say, well, you need more training, but in a split second, and when you're right there in the moment, me doing bodyguard work and things like that, you really don't know what's going through your head and all this. You don't know how you will react. And any police officer, any agent in enforcement, anything like that tells you if someone attacks you with a vehicle or drives to you, you are able to shoot them and defend yourself or kill that person. But
unalive.
F1, unalive.
unalive that person.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like everyone wants to see the bad. Like it was a situation where I saw this video where this officer, a male officer, was beating up on these women. And he kept showing a clip that he was beating up on the women. But I'm like this, wait a minute. If he's fighting 10 women, is that really him beating them up or him in self-defense? Then when you
Right.
watch the whole thing, they attacked him. And they still jump on this case, well, he shouldn't have fought them. It's like, what should he have done?
Yeah. 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 And thanks for that perspective, man. Someone that does, security and bodyguard work. Thank you for that perspective. Man, y'all.
But let me ask you a question, Dre. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Since you said that you're in that line of work, and I understand, I get where you come from. I see where that vantage point comes from, and I understand that completely. If you look, and again, we don't have boots on ground, so we don't understand every vantage point, right?
Mhm.
But if you were looking at it from just a very frontal approach, and you see
A
that he was in
civilian.
front of the car, and
Civilian.
she started to pull off, and he started to kind of move to the side. He unholstered his gun and started shooting. Did he necessarily have to unalive her, or could he have taken the vehicle out and make it inoperative?
If you,
Right? And I'm asking
I'm
because
gonna tell you. Go ahead.
and I'm asking because it is. You already understand that the situation is in dire straits as it is. So as an agent, and I don't know what level of training that individual's had, but you already know you're running scenarios and you're doing a risk assessment in your head. One being catastrophic, one being low, and one being moderate. It is incumbent on you to make the lowest level of risk possible, which I feel from my training and probably yours too, that probably wasn't done from us just looking in on the outside looking in. I'm just saying, could another approach have been taken?
There's always another approach that can be taken, but you forget we are human beings. Everyone keeps saying we need more training. I don't care how much training you have. In the moment you may react a certain way. It's like I teach martial arts to people, right? And you can be the best fighter in school and everything else, but the moment you get punched in the face in the street, your reaction is something totally different.
It's out the
All that
window.
goes right out the window. Exactly. All that goes right out the window.
Um,
And if you watch, the first shot was through the front window, not through the side window. If you actually pay attention, I watched it over and over. So that means he had to been in front of her to shoot, but the actual follow-up shots, I'm not going to say that was right or whatever. I don't know what was going through his head at that time. But when a vehicle is coming towards you, yes, you have the right to open fire.
that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Yeah, man. And look, it's a complex situation. It's a complex situation. I did run down this morning the last 10 ICE incidents. I looked it up and I asked ChatGPT to only look at verifiable sources, news sources, and let's chronicle the last 10 incidents. And I'll start from today or yesterday. So Renee Good was a white female, 37 years old. It happened in Minneapolis on January 7th, and fatally pow pow. Gene Wilson was a black Haitian male. That happened last year in December, and of course taken out in a cluster of detainee deaths. Um, then you had Ninko, looks like Ganchev, a white Bulgarian male, adult male. It happened last year, also same incident. Many people died or were unalived in an incident with ICE. Faoud Saeed Abdulakar or Abdul Kadir, a black Eritrean 46-year-old male, lost his life, same incident, December 14th. Okay, then you have Ishmael Uribe, a Latino Mexican male, 39 years old in California, Alberto, California. I'm sorry, Adelanto, California, September of last year. Lost his life in a processing center. Then you've got another white male in Miami, Florida, 49 years old. You've got a 42-year-old Latino, Honduran. You've got many different Haitians, Nicaraguans, Bulgarians, and Eritreans. And then you have various backgrounds, people in custody, multiple people last year. Last year was the worst year for people to be unalived in ICE custody or an ICE incident. So this was the first. Why am I saying this? Because this ain't the first incident, but this is the first time a white female was unalived that in 2025 that I noticed. And it's just like, what are the repercussions? One of the people in the audience, shout out to King Leo, said, what are the repercussions? What are the repercussions? So I'll ask that to the panel. What are the repercussions, y'all? What should happen in all these incidences where people are being unalived within ICE custody for various reasons, whether they were approached by a vehicle or they died in a detention center or anything like that? What should be the repercussions for these agents when these things happen? Let's start with Dre.
Okay, everyone should be held to a certain standard. I mean, I don't care if you're a police officer, I don't care if you're an ICE agent, whatever. I mean, if you do something that is clearly illegal and it can be proven that it's illegal, then you should face the law. I mean, the law should take care of it. Unfortunately, these people seem to be above the law, but you also have to take into account the number of people that you mentioned compared to the number of times ICE has done something far as went and got illegal. Sometimes they make mistakes. A lot of times they don't. Mistakes are going to happen even in the police force. You know, a lot of time with the police, they say, well, the police has done something wrong, or it's always the police against us, or always the police against, a lot of time people say the police against Black people, but they
Right.
never hear how many times white people were killed by police. I mean, I have a few white friends that were killed by police, and it seemed like they were doing nothing. What you have to understand is the police, ICE, all of them, they look at things like, my father was a cop, and he told me this himself. They don't look at it like, oh, you're Black, you're illegal and all this. They look at it as it's us against the rest of the world. The
Yeah.
cops against everybody else. That's
Yeah.
how they look at it. We're all separate and saying, oh, we only see the cops killing Black people or ICE going after Mexican people and killing them, but you don't know that you look at it like it's them against these particular people, but they're a gang. They're like, it's us against everybody else, period.
Yeah. F1 on the words. But, so here's the thing, y'all. What should be the repercussions? Anyone can chime in. Sophie, Lady Cupid, Sherrod, and then we can move on to the topic tonight.
Nothing is going to happen to the people involved. I doubt anything's going to happen. The president has spoken, and I feel like for all the reasons that I can't see your name, the gentleman
Dre.
has mentioned,
Dre.
Dre has mentioned, is how this person is going to get off. I don't agree with it. I feel like if you're going to be ICE or police in the police force, I have a family that comes from a military background, and my mother in the system for 30 plus years, and she didn't have any use of force as a female working in a male prison. So there are things that you should be trained, and I'm thinking I do believe that is a lack of training, and it's the way that they quickly pull these people together. Now, ICE is not new. They may have some new hires, but ICE is not new. They've been doing this for years. It's just that now they're in the mainland, and it's different. I do believe also that there was some YT privilege that made someone believe that they could ram their car at a police officer and try and leave. I do not, or I've never seen. Maybe I don't know, but it's not based off on what I've seen or I haven't. But I just feel like there's a higher number of people who are brown that I could say would not do that, that would comply. So it's
Yeah.
privilege, and it didn't end up, in her favor.
Yeah. Anybody else before we close this topic and get to the real main topic?
Well, the thing about she just mentioned is a higher people that are brown that would not comply. That's not true. The reason why I say that's not true is because we comply more than anyone else.
No, I think she said we would comply, Dre. I think
Oh,
she
we-
said because we know the history, we probably would not try to ram an officer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. Carl Schaff, welcome in, Carl.
But I gotta go. I only stepped in for a minute, but I wanted to speak to you guys a little bit, and it's good to see you again.
Oh, you missing a good topic, man. We were about to talk about the dressing the part.
Got to get on the computer, brother.
I understand. Okay, man. Appreciate you. That's my
All
man, Superman Dre.
Later.
That's Superman Dre, y'all. Carl, so the topic tonight is dressing the part, but we just took a few minutes out to address the Minneapolis situation with Renee Good, who was unalived by ICE. You want to chime in on that before we move on? Because I know you just got here.
No, just gotta move on because that thing is still bothering me.
I feel you, man. And I appreciate everybody for chiming in. It's definitely, like I said, it could be a powder keg moment in America. It's touching on a lot of things. Immigration is an issue, but we got to do it in a humane way if we're going to grab illegals and deport them. I just feel like it should be done in a more humane way, and it's a powder keg right now in terms of the rhetoric that's coming out of Washington from the president down to other politicians and all that. Like, yeah, I'll just
Well,
leave it at that.
first you have to understand which one are you talking about. Are you talking about the real Homeland Security agents? Are you talking about the fake ones? Are you talking about the good old boy?
Right,
Because we can't tell who's who no more.
right. And
So,
I mentioned that. I mentioned that when you have agents walking around with masks on, like
mhm,
they are Antifa, and they're
mhm,
walking up on people in unmarked cars. I
mhm.
understand I understand they have a badge on their shoulder. I understand they have on vests, but it's people out here that can imitate that sort of thing and get, camouflage and you know what I'm saying type outfits and really do some damage. And then you got like you said, the good old boy network. What if they're here just to agitate and it's a license for them to go strong arm some people and shoot some people? I'm sorry, pow some people, with a license, you know what I'm saying? So it could be people really abusing the system. Not people that's here to protect and serve, but people that's here to, agitate and strong arm, So
Well, all I could do is say a prayer for myself and other brothers because, as far as I'm concerned, there are a certain number of brothers out there. I hope these guys don't, cross paths with these guys because it is going to be a pow pow first and talk later type situation.
yeah,
And I happen to be one of them type people. I'm not. No, we're not stopping. We're not. No, we're not having no conversation. It's going to be. So be
yeah,
prepared.
yeah. And you're a former police officer, right, Carl?
Hmm.
Do you personally think that these ICE agents can make anywhere from 50,000 to 160,000 if they're a junior person to a senior person, and they can get upwards of 50,000 in a bonus to sign on for ICE? Do you think that they're just rushing people through the system and not really vetting and training or checking backgrounds? You think in terms of just them getting numbers to round up, supposed illegal aliens, are they
I
are
don't. I
they
don't
rushing people
know.
through the
I don't know
system?
the background on their training and the whole schematics of their process. I don't. I'm not familiar with it. And the reason why it wouldn't be is because that's the federal level.
Yeah. Yep.
And to be honest with you, I don't think that kind of money is up there. I think this is more about being seen and heard. This is about status quo. They
Mm.
don't give a damn about the money. It's just a simple fact that you are at a level where you could carry a weapon across state lines and countries and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it's the status quo type thing.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel
Yeah.
you on that, man. All right, you guys. So we know we've talked about that. Rest in peace to Renee Good, and rest in peace to all the other um, victims of collateral damage in this little ICE war on immigration. It's crazy, man. And then we could talk about the president going in and getting the president of Venezuela and the oil situation there. It's a lot that's happening in America that could be discussed. But let's switch over. We're going to go to a little bit of a lighter fare. I want to show you guys this right here.
Oh
The
yeah,
topic
let me
for
get on this
tonight.
bitch. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Go
Oh,
ahead. I'm
man. Whoa,
sorry.
man. Dang. He coming in hard. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So dressing the part. So Jamal Harrison Bryant is a pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, a large church. Once bishop to by Bishop Eddie Long, who passed away a few years ago. Jamal took it over, and his wife. They went to an event. I'm looking it up right quick so I can just make sure I got the facts. But they went to an event recently, um, and she wore a dress, and I want to show you guys.
It was a
Uh,
fundraiser for kids.
it's a fundraiser for kids. All right,
Hmm.
I want to show you guys. Hold on, I want to show y'all the dress a little bit better. That
Wait, you want the close up of the body?
I
yeah, I
text you
got.
my dress, Dave, when you get a chance.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
Oh, God, Sophie. But Sophie. Sophie.
I wore that to church.
Ay, ay, ay. All right,
on,
let me try to share screen. There it is. Share screen.
on cue.
On cue. All
On
right.
cue.
Okay, so I want to share this first. We're discussing the idea of dressing the part. Dressing the part. His wife is a first lady, and I'm gonna play a clip of what she said. But I want y'all to first just look at what we have here. Do y'all remember Megan Good and her first husband? All right, Megan Good and Devon Franklin. Y'all remember the wait?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is not the first time a first lady has been under fire for the way she dressed. So that's a picture right there of Devon Franklin and Megan Good. They were married. They're divorced now, and they both have since remarried. But this is important because they put a book out called The Wait, and it was telling believers to wait till marriage. And she was a first lady. All right, he's a minister, and so she was really the first lady.
Actually,
Here
he's
she,
not a minister.
I was gonna say.
He isn't a minister. He just does Christian things.
Right.
And he has a ministry, but he's not a minister.
He was never ordained.
Yeah, and he's a
hold
He
on
didn't
preacher
go
now.
at
through
my church.
ordination.
Now that's
Right.
news to me.
He didn't go through
Those,
ordination.
you
Yeah, he's not, and he'll say it himself. And that's what Megan was saying to kind of like back up. I can do what I want.
hmm
He's not a minister.
Hold
correct.
He
on.
makes movies,
Hold on.
Christian movies. Yeah, so
I
that's just
just looked it up. Hold on. It says Devon Franklin is an ordained minister and a preacher. Now he may not be a pastor. He may
Meaning
not
he doesn't have
head.
a church.
He may not have a church in the congregation, but I believe he is an ordained minister. It says I just googled it. It says in addition to being a well-known Hollywood producer and author is often described as a preacher,
interesting.
motivational speaker, and spiritual success coach who uses this platform to uplift and inspire.
I would love to know
When that
where
happened.
he. I would like to know when that happened. I would like to know what theological seminary school he attended.
All
Because
right.
he's Seventh Day Adventist based, and I'm Seventh Day Adventist, so that's why
Oh,
I'm
shoot.
like, I don't know what church he has, but we can move on. I'm just saying, this is what
Yeah.
that was back when he was married. What the thing was, it may have changed. It's been a couple years since he's been married to Megan.
Okay.
Oh,
So to your point, Sophie, to your point, I just Googled it again and it says, while Devon Franklin began preaching at 15 and is a well-known spiritual leader and producer, sources don't pinpoint an exact date for his ordination, though his
exactly,
deep
because it never
commitment,
existed.
and ministerial role are long-standing, with him being a Seventh-day Adventist preacher and associated with ministries like One Church in Los Angeles.
Mm.
They said that he serves at One Church LA and is a known ordained minister, but they
Mm.
couldn't find a date when he was ordained. So that's Google's
Oh,
AI
okay,
finding what it
Dr.
can.
Umar. No
You
problem.
know, I'm just checking it out.
Y'all just want to agree to give him a day? Because I'm cool with just like give him like July 4th, like, I don't
No,
know,
you know why? Because
2010,
that's
so we can move on.
Rob. I'm sorry. I just take it a little bit, just a tap, little, insulted because I remember when I got my ordination. I
Okay.
remember when I got that document in my hand. I remember when I got that card in my hand. So you don't forget things like forgetting your virginity. You know?
Right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Or the person you lost it to.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, that's even worse.
But my whole point is, whether he's ordained or not,
It
can
makes a
you
difference.
still bring the gospel and you're not ordained?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you can.
Lord,
Okay.
here we go.
No,
You
I'm
can.
My
asking.
No, and I'm answering. Yes, you can.
Exactly.
Yes, you
So
can.
that's what I'm saying. Let's just give him an arbitrary date. Let's just move forward.
You
I
could be.
think like July 4th What you think, Lady Cupid? You want to go with 2015, 2016? I'm good with like 20. Let's just say
Rod,
2017, and let's just
Rod,
move on.
because it's you,
Yeah,
I'll give him the
let's just
honorary.
move
That's what
on.
we give him. Honorary ordination.
Or
Okay.
nation. Okay.
There you
Mhm.
go.
Well, the reason why it's important is because that's what they were saying. That's what Megan was saying on the reason why she does what she wants to do is because at the time they were married, he was just a speaker. He was affiliated with his church, and she just kept for me. I remember her saying, because I am a Seventh Day Adventist. She kept saying, "Why y'all coming for me for?" And we came for her,
Who did?
and
The church.
the Seventh Day
The
Adventist
church.
church, and
But
there was
why did they
also a
come?
clip
Why did they come for?
Well, look at the
because she
picture. Look at the
because she
picture, Sherrod.
smoked.
Look at the picture.
They came for her smoking in her dress, and
Yes.
there was a clip of someone
Oh,
coming for her.
like smoking weed?
No, she
Cigarettes.
smoked cigarettes.
Oh
Mhm.
She
yeah.
smoked cigarettes.
What we
Mhm.
talking about?
Megan.
Well, I mean, this is what we're talking about. This is the point. Dressing the part. Now, hear
Mhm.
me out. I brought her up because I wanted to point out what Sophie said is that the church. I won't say all of everyone in the church, but a number of people in church had a problem with her dressing and being a Hollywood starlet when she was quote unquote a preacher's
Mhm.
wife. Right.
Is she wore that? Did she wear that at the church when she got on?
I've never seen her breast out at church,
All
but
right.
hold on, but clearly they were at the BET Awards, and you can
That ain't
see.
church.
Just hear me out, though.
Oh
Just hear
my
me out.
God.
Hear me out. She's at the okay. This is why we're talking about it, Sherrod. This is the point of tonight, right? So here she is. She's not a minister, but she's married to a minister. Okay, and then she wears an outfit that she normally would wear to a BT Awards. That's not abnormal. But being that she's standing next to her husband, who's a minister, right? Who they both waited to get to before marriage to sleep together, although
That
they
was
had a
that was good on their part.
although they had a short engagement, right? Because they talked about Sierra and Russell and then them waiting. They talked about it. But the point here is Megan Good dressed like this. She was a starlet. She is a star, and she's been a sex symbol, right, for a number of years. So this is how
Still
she
is.
dresses. This is how she dresses on the red carpet. Now she's married to a minister. My question is to the panel, and we can just go round robin one at a time. She's married to a minister at the time. Is this right here with her side boob out and all that, her cleavage out? Is that, do you approve? Is it appropriate for her to dress like this and she's married to a minister?
No.
Tell me why.
Your hours as a minister is not from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Your hours as a minister is 24/7. Your call can become at any given time to give counseling, to rights of death rights,
Right.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, wife, I need you to do this a little bit because we're not in that world that you come from. You are an extension of me. You're a representation of me. If I can't walk around in my speedos, even though I got a nice body, I have to also be more conservative in my appearance to the public.
Okay. Sandra, what are your thoughts? Is this appropriate being married to a minister?
No.
Why?
Well, just in being raised in the church and having to, wear a skirt below the knees and,
Hmm.
having proper tops and things of that nature, wear your pantyhose and flat shoes. It's just, to me, it's not appropriate.
Okay. We going
I
round
got,
robin because I have some responses, but we're
I
gonna continue
I
with
got,
the
I
round
got,
robin.
I got one tidbit just to add.
Yep.
That's why in most black churches or whatever churches you go to, that's why everybody wear robes.
Okay. Oh yeah, especially when they're preaching.
Mm.
Yep. All right. Sherrod, is this appropriate?
By whose standards?
Great question.
Dick standard.
By whose standards?
Dick
So
standard.
So, by whose standards?
What is a dick
Dick
standard?
Dick standard.
What is
What
a
does
dick
that mean?
standard?
Captain D coming, Captain D coming, swerve coming,
No, no,
Captain D
no, no,
coming.
no, no. So
Y'all killing me.
by whose standard? So we all grew up in the church to a certain extent, or we all grew up with some reverence to what to wear and what
Right.
not to wear, right?
Hmm.
I've seen a myriad of things from everybody in suits, and if you come in there with jeans and a sports coat on, they look at you like you a sinner. And I've seen
Hmm.
women that come in there with mini skirts on, and men can't even keep their eyes on the gospel because they're too busy looking. So
Hmm.
my whole point is to whose standards, right? And I say that to say this: if you are the captain of the ship and the master of your fate and the captain of your soul, he shouldn't let his wife come out the house looking like that. Obviously, he's okay with it because
Mm.
he allowed her to come out the house.
In
Or
the
she
light.
said, the hell with it, and I'm coming out the way I want to come out because this is me and this is my character. And I'm not going to change who I am because you got asked to follow, thus says the Lord, or you got a calling. This is
Right.
what I do because this is me. So, to whose standard? Because obviously, it must be cool with him because she got it on. Because if he had a problem with it, I don't think he would let her come out of the house like that. And it's the BET Awards.
Right.
To
Okay.
whose standard? And quite frankly, I don't even care.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the problem right there. You've just mentioned three different problems.
Yeah.
One,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
use the
okay.
word let and allow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When there's respect, there's no let or allow involved. It's a respect because how we said it, God, man, then wife.
Hmm.
We
So
can
both of y'all should have been looking upward and say, hey,
that look, we can go back and forth and dialogue on semantics all night. Let, live, whatever. He's okay if he is the head of the house and he allowed his wife to be okay coming out the house with that. Whose standards? Who are we to judge it? I don't give a.
He, he
I don't care.
he was choosing his battles with her, and
He probably was. Hence why they're not
yes,
divorced. But guess what? Let's be honest. We
and he
all judged
lost.
it. We all judged it when we saw it. We knew it wasn't gonna last
Yes,
because we
All
know
right.
how
that part,
Megan is.
that part,
Let's
So
just call it
and
Stan,
what it is.
go
So
and we
ahead.
he
talked
can't
about.
change.
Should we
He
really
can't
be
change who
judging
she is.
anybody?
Megan Good is one of the sweetest persons you ever want to talk to and know. She is. But she
She
dresses
really
like that
did.
because that's who she is. So
Yeah,
guess what? You know the person you're marrying.
she's a
She
sex
dresses
symbol.
like a certain woman. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
therefore, he knew he wasn't gonna change her.
So let's get Sophie's
Kanye and Kim
take.
Kardashian, same thing.
We knew it wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah,
Mm.
Just
with
like we
her,
know
with him
Carucci,
becoming.
we know Carucci
And
and
Dion.
Dion ain't gonna work out.
Oh,
So Sophie, give us your
Oh,
take. Give us
wow.
your take, Sophie. Is it appropriate for Megan Good, who was married to a minister, to dress with her boobs out at an award show?
um, at the time that she was married to him, I'm just sticking with he was not an ordained minister. He didn't have a church. He had affiliations. I feel like she should have probably have been more considerate for the audience, maybe have been a little bit more modest. But in respect to their marriage and what they got going on, as Rod was saying, if her husband felt like, he was comfortable with what she was wearing,
Mhm.
then that's okay. But is it a distraction to his ministry? Yes. Does it uh does it does it cast a shadow on some of the things that he could be saying that are true? Yes, it does. It is a deterrent. And a woman, when your husband is in ministry, she should not be a focal point. It should be God. So if they're focusing on, like, I know we're going to get to Jamal Bryant, but if we're focusing on your wife, it takes away from the ministry, which is supposed to be,
Hmm.
according to his beliefs, God, Jesus.
Yes,
So she's a
Well,
distraction.
I agree with you a thousand
I
percent,
agree.
Sophie. But let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Why does it matter if he's ordained or not what his wife wears? So if he's
Um,
ordained, it's not cool. If he is ordained, then it's cool. But if he's not, she can slide with it. Why does that
Fantastic
matter?
question. Yes. If he is ordained, that means he has gone through a certain level of like education. Because he's Seventh Day Adventist and I'm Seventh Day Adventist. So if he is, and I'm not sure how Baptist or anybody else does it, but when you have to go to school, you have to get a degree in theology.
Yeah.
And then a church has to pick you up. And before you're picked up, you have to work. You have to like become like associate pastor for a number of years. Then
Yes.
after that, then you become ordained, and it's a huge thing.
Yep.
They
Right.
pray over you. You have certain
Yep.
rules, and they even interview your wife.
Correct.
They interview your wife. They go over some of the expectations for her, and then he becomes ordained. And she's there. She's wearing all white. He's there. He's wearing all white. And then they ordain him.
Mhm.
So just remember her saying, kind of like, "What's the big deal?" Because he isn't a minister. At the time, I remember when they were married, he was not, and people were still coming for her. And I was I would say defense of her because he ain't a minister. He's just a public speaker. If you gotta
So
find why, my family is in ministry, and my aunt is fine, but she dresses, you
She
can still
dresses
see
the
her
part.
shape. Yeah,
yeah,
you can still see her shape, but she would never
yeah.
um do that.
So I'm gonna read what Ms. Most Better said. She said, hello, happy new year, everybody. And then she said, first of all,
Mhm.
she's married to a minister. She has to set an example for him being for her being the spouse of a minister at all times. It's all about respect for his title. Um Now, I'm gonna flip it. Yeah, a wife should respect her husband's title. A wife should respect her husband's public ministry. But guess what? He knew he was marrying a Hollywood sex symbol before he
Mhm.
married her. He knew
Mhm.
exactly who Megan Good was. He
Correct.
believed that God told him that was his wife. And he was also being Hollywood, being a producer. He knew who she was as an actress. And he was like, nah, ain't no way, God. Ain't no way. But he felt really strongly that the Lord put it on him that that's his wife. So he looked past the career, he married her, and she became the wife of a minister. So my thing is, you knew who you were marrying, sir, in this
Mhm.
case. So now what? Are you going to now tell your wife, I need you to never show your skin? I need you to wear cover from the neck to the
He
ankles,
couldn't. He couldn't. I believe he is at fault. He's at fault because he's a good guy. He's like a good guy. He
right?
probably, I'm not sure if he was a virgin, but he's a good guy. And she wasn't a good fit for him. They weren't equally yoked. That's what I want to say. They were not equally yoked. Because if they
Okay.
were equally yoked, then she would have been more, respectable of his of what he was doing, even knowing that he's not a minister, he's not ordained, but she would have put a little bit more respect on his name
Yeah.
Would
Okay.
she though? Would she?
if they were equally yoked. I don't believe they were
No, they
equally
weren't.
yoked.
They weren't equally yoked from the beginning. It's
Yeah,
a play.
that's what I'm saying.
Listen.
They weren't equally yoked. So he's
Yeah.
not going to
No.
get that because it wasn't there to begin with. She
Yeah.
wasn't a good fit to begin with.
No, she was a sex symbol. He
Yes.
wanted more publicity. He got what he wanted. Then when they got married, I was like, well, we know this ain't gonna work. This is a matter of time. And it
Yeah.
wasn't me judging them. They're from two different opposite ends of the spectrum. It's it.
Hmm.
Ain't no big thing. He told her, he said, baby, you look good in that. You should wear it. Then when all the feedback came, she ain't got no problem with it because see, once again, that's her character. She been
Hmm.
dressing
Of
like
course
that.
she's not. Yep.
Mhm.
Right.
Hmm.
All right.
I'm
So
telling you, she is one of the most sweetest people you ever want to
She
be.
looks like it. I'm
that's what
pretty
Destiny
sure
said.
that
Hmm.
she is.
She
I'm
is.
I'm a thousand
I'm telling you
percent.
for a fact.
Yeah, I
So
believe that and so is he because he's a good. They're good people. They just weren't a good fit.
And there's nothing
And
wrong
I
with
don't
that.
think he did it
so
for the clout. I think he did it like a good boys do. They see a gorgeous girl, they like her, and he made her fit. He tried to make her fit into the peg. But I'll stop.
now
'Cause I see my girl and my guy up there.
so now we're gonna talk about Jamal Harrison Bryant. All right. He bought his wife a flesh colored dress. I'd like to make it clear that that is a flesh colored dress. That's not her skin. But I mean her shoulders are out and her cleavage is there. But everything else that you see behind the black lace is simply flesh colored. And it just so happened to match her complexion in a
As it
major way,
supposed as it was intended.
as it was intended. So he bought the dress. I'm reading an article that says Jamal Bryant slammed for buying wife a flesh colored gala dress, and he slammed for lowering the standards. Christian leaders and influencers are speaking out about the dress that megachurch pastor Jamal Bryant bought for his wife to wear to a gala event last month, sparking debate about how Christians should present themselves in public. Bryant, an outspoken progressive activist who leads New Earth Missionary Baptist Church in Georgia, defended the dress in a New Year's Eve sermon. Okay. We're not going to get it. We're not going to get deep into what he said, but he just basically defended his wife and said, I bought the
He's
dress.
advocating it. But listen, that is no different than if they would have went to that gala and one of them light up a blunt.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
Or you might as well brought Cardi B with you.
Mm. Well,
you know?
Okay. Well, look, I have a few pictures, and I want y'all to see them because a picture's worth 1,000 words. All right, so that's them together. Here's a picture of her at a podium. All right, let me zoom in on this. There's a picture of her at a podium. Here we go. Oh, let's zoom. There it is. So this is her at a podium. All right, people are just hanging out. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about how it's like a spider web zooming in
I don't.
on the crotch area. Okay.
But
Let's hold on, Farrell. I got you. We gonna talk about it. And then here is a picture of the dress in bright light, so you can get a really good idea. So this is how it looked. This is how it looked in bright light in person. All right, and then this is them together. So in darker light, you can't really see the webs pulling into the crotch area, but in bright light, you see those webbings.
The crouchy webby.
I mean, it is what
Y'all
it
need
is.
to pass the mic to us females who know about all this stuff, because all this flesh colored dress, we know exactly what that is, right?
All right,
Q-Biz,
it's the
we know it.
illusion.
Talk about it.
Yes.
It's the illusion.
Go ahead, Sophie. You got it. Talk about it.
Oh, the reason why it's flesh color is it's exactly what it means. It's supposed to look like you're fresh. You are supposed to look naked, but not
Correct.
actually naked. That's what it is. Whether he bought it or not, that's his spin. Jamal is gonna spin it. He spun it when
Of
he
course he
married
is.
her. He spun it when he married her after he done ran through so many women and made babies on the outside of his first marriage. He spun it when he married a lookalike to his first wife. So he's gonna spin it.
What do you do
Is
when
he
he
losing credibility as a pastor? I think yes. This
He
new
doesn't
age
care.
been
modern,
lost
they don't
credibility?
care. Yeah, they care about being.
This is the problem.
Are you still
This
there?
is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem we run into. If he didn't want his wife to wear it, he would have told her.
No
Whose phone
feedback.
is that?
Could be Sophie.
That was Sophie.
Hey, if he didn't want his wife to wear it, he would have told her not to wear it. They want to be socially media driven, and they want to be on the cusp and the tongues of everybody's talking point when people talk. He told her to wear it because that's what he liked. That's what she was cool with wearing. And they wanted to give the people something to talk about. I have never been with a woman who has been with me who walked out the house without saying, hey, babe, is this okay? Do you think this is too much? It is incumbent on me when that is posed to me, and I have an inkling of doubt that that is not what I want to see her in, to tell her right then and there. So when they came out the house, they already knew people were going to talk about it. This is what I would have been done. I would have did this if I was them. I wouldn't even respond to the noise. But they can't do it because the world we live in today, people have to voice everything they do and say because it gets likes, it gets people talking. I'm not even talking about it if I'm the pastor. That's how cold it is. I'm not even talking about it. I'm not even commenting on it. This is what my wife is wearing. This is what we agreed on. Period.
So we pimping our wives out now for
That's
likes,
what we've
visuals, and
always
talking
done.
points.
Stop
That's
it.
what they do.
Yeah, that's
But
what
that-
they've always
That's what he
done.
does.
But it's
That's what
reckless.
they always
But-
done. This ain't
but
nothing
it's-
new because
She's
he a
trophy
pastor.
wife. Let's just
But
back it
you're-
up a little bit. She's a trophy wife.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's very smart. She's educated. I think she's a doctor. She's a speaker, but she's a trophy wife. So she's playing the role.
The
She
part.
actually looks like she's an Oscar.
They got a cool
Hold
another
on.
5. They got about a 5-6 years, and then he gonna be on to the next. She gonna be doing her
So,
thing, and then it'll be over with, and then we
so
won't be
let
talking about it. It'll be something
so
else
let
in
me
a new
ask you
day.
something. You think she would wear that type of wardrobe at a medical conference, though?
No, if it's a gala, she
I
might.
said a
Yeah,
bunch
if
of
it's a
white
gala,
people.
if it's
No,
a
she
gala, why
wouldn't.
wouldn't she?
Yes, she would.
Why
Come
wouldn't
on,
she?
man. Come on.
No, no,
Come
no, no,
on.
no,
Come
no, no,
on.
Carl. Listen to me. Why wouldn't she? It's not a distasteful dress.
It's
It's a
not.
nice dress. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a very sleek and sexy dress. And the
Mhm.
crazy part about it, she looks amazingly good in it.
I
Yeah,
got a
she
She
looks
question.
does.
good.
I got
But
a
it's the
question.
fact that she's a
If,
I'm,
Who
pastor's wife.
cares?
okay, hold on. Let me get Lady
Walk,
Cupid.
baby, walk.
Go ahead, Lady
I didn't.
Cupid. Give us your
I'm.
take on it.
I was just answering Destiny. I told her it's mesh, but also that she does look good in a dress. She's wearing the dress. It's just a
Hmm.
matter of her being a pastor's wife.
So,
Look
So
at
and
what
then
now
Jamal.
listen.
Look at what he
it
be
wouldn't be a
wearing.
conversation if
And
she was not married to a pastor.
Jamal Harrison Bryant is a pastor. He's definitely a pastor. He's not just a minister. He is a
Correct.
pastor of a mega church in Atlanta. He's pastor churches in DC. Like he's
Yeah,
a
he's a
pastor.
pastor.
Yeah, he's straight up.
Hmm.
So
So
here's my question. Is it appropriate for the first lady? Now she's not just a minister's wife. She's the first lady of a church. Is it appropriate for the first lady of a church to wear an outfit that gives the impression that she's naked under there
Yes,
and draws attention to the coochie area?
yes,
Is that
absolutely.
appropriate?
She's
That's
No.
yes,
appropriate, Sherrod?
No.
yes, absolutely. She's at a gala.
Sharon, I don't think you understand. You keep saying how good she
You're
looks in a
assuming I
dress.
don't understand. So go ahead. I want to hear it. You're
No, I'm
assuming I
not
don't understand.
assuming. I'm
You
listening to
literally
you.
said I don't think you understand. So tell me
No,
I don't
I don't.
understand.
I know you don't understand
Okay,
because
why?
what I'm looking at is this.
Hmm.
We're looking at the picture. That's why I wanted to stop Dave. Dave, when you was pulling up the pictures of her,
Yeah.
look at the guys around her. How are
They're
they
not even looking
dressed?
at her. Stop.
How are they?
The
Now
guy in the
who's
back is
assuming?
having a full blown conversation
Now
about
you're
something else.
assuming. The men
I'm
are
looking at a
dressed.
picture, Carl.
Men are dressed in tuxedos, ties, so
Okay.
forth. Now let me ask you something. I'm a man. I got a nice frame. Does that mean that I'm a minister? I can walk in there with my muscles out, chest hit. Come on, dog. Do you see the men doing that?
We're not talking about men. We're talking about the woman. So let's
But I
stay
But this
see
is the
focused.
but I see his
point.
point. But I see his point.
No, no,
If
no, no. What I'm saying is this: if a man wears that and his wife is okay with him wearing that, let's flip the script. And they come
Well,
out the house and his wife said, "Babe, you should wear that." Who
well,
cares?
Sherrod, hold on, Sherrod, because we
what?
now we have a point of reference
If it was
because
a military ball,
rest
would
in
you want
peace,
Come
your
on,
spouse wearing it to a
man.
military
rest
ball?
in peace to Bishop Eddie Long. Bishop Eddie Long, the prior bishop of New Birth, where Jamal is now the bishop, right? Bishop Eddie Long was the first minister wearing muscle shirts in the pulpit. He would have
Come
on
on.
a tie and a vest, but he would have his guns out from the shoulder,
Come
like
on, bro.
in the pulpit. And when he holding the mic and preaching, and he got his guns, you could see all his pythons, and everybody's like, "Dang, Bishop been working out," and that was a source of controversy because they were like, "Why this man showing his guns?" Like shoulder out a vest suit with
Come
shoulders out.
on.
That's the
Did
same
did
thing.
did
That's the
did
same thing. Hold on. That's the same thing as this lady with her shoulders out and showing her curves. He was
did,
showing his muscles. It's
did it
similar.
stop people from going to New Birth?
No,
No.
no, it
No,
didn't.
and
But
it
it.
won't. I get you, Sherrod.
Exactly.
Well, hold
It's
on.
not
Hold on.
going
But
And
It
it
wait.
would.
wouldn't be
It
a
would.
topic of
But it
conversation if she
did.
was not married to the pastor. No
No,
one
it
would be even
wouldn't.
talking about the
That's
dress
my whole
at all.
point. Who get if they didn't say nothing about it and she wasn't married to him, we wouldn't be even having this conversation. It's irrelevant. My whole point is it's a tasteful dress. She wore it. She's a woman of dignity and class. I would let my girl, any girl I'm with, wear the same dress anywhere we go. But
Well,
see, you got to be confident in yourself to be okay with that. It don't
Sherrod.
matter if you got a church, you a pastor, you a minister, you a youth missionary, Baptist
hold
usher.
on.
It
Let's
don't matter. Who
And like
I
she
cares?
said
love
in
the
the
hold on.
video,
selfishness.
she wore it
I
for
love
her
the.
husband.
I love
Yeah,
the.
as a woman
But see,
should do.
you know what I hear? I hear the selfishness of adults. Don't give a damn about the youth or the younger generation that's looking at it and saying, "Oh, this is okay," because you're saying it's okay by demonstrating it. What are we?
What
What
are
are
you
you doing, man?
demonstrating? What are you demonstrating?
So you're
Hold on.
telling me, you're
No, no,
telling
no.
me,
What are you demonstrating? Not what I'm
Oh,
telling you. I'm
she
asking.
doesn't have
What?
nipple covers on.
Hold
Her
on, y'all.
nipples are
Hold on,
not
y'all.
showing.
We gotta slow down. We gotta slow down. We gotta slow down because biblically, you're supposed to be modest.
Covered.
Now, her dress is showing confidence and is showing swag and sexy. It is not showing modest. It's teaching.
it's showing Beyonce.
It's yes, and it's teaching. And look, y'all, I'm not judging. It's a beautiful dress, but we're talking about a first lady of a church, of a mega church. So now we're saying to the women and the young women in the church, hey, it's okay if you look like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. It's okay if you dress like this because as long as if you're with your husband, you can go out there in the streets and dress like this, and it's okay. I
Or
understand
single.
that. I
A
understand
lot
that
of
her.
churches have changed their option of what type of wardrobe to come as you are
So that's what we
instead
talking
of
about,
back
Sandra.
to the
So
way.
if they
I
start
know.
coming in like they just left the strip club, nobody, married or not, should open their mouth because we have people older that set an example.
And
You're
that's
at a
what I'm
fundraiser
saying.
for children. Get
That's
into
what
the
I'm
show.
saying.
A fundraiser for children. And we're dressing like
The club. Now let me say this because look, y'all, Bishop Long wore his arms out and he got backlash. They were like, oh, he's trying to be sexy in the pulpit. They also questioned his sexuality in terms of allegations with young men, right? And they were like, why this man out here showing his guns and trying to look sexy on the pulpit and trying to flex? That's a real thing because I'm gonna take it farther. I'm gonna take it all the way there. You remember the video "Pumps in a Bump" with MC Hammer?
Mm-hmm.
All right, his first video, MC Hammer wore a Speedo at the pool. All right. And all the women were like, oh my God, he's showing his bump, right? And he got criticized. They were like, yo, what is this Negro doing wearing a Speedo and dancing like he danced as hard as he danced? They were like, what is he doing? Like, okay, Hammer, no one cares how you're built. We don't need to see all that. So he had to reshoot the video. And when he reshot it, he had on a jersey and long shorts and a skull cap. And him and his male dancers were appropriately dressed. And they cut all those swimming pool images out. But his first inkling was, look at my body, y'all. And he got serious backlash. Can you imagine if the church it went so far that the men were almost wearing like a vest suit, but it was a Speedo bottom? Or the women were wearing mini skirts so small they look like they at the strip club stripping? I'm just being for real. At some point, we have to say you are a man and woman of God and you're representing a church. Certain things you just can't do. Like if you want to smoke weed at home, Jamal Harrison Bryant or whoever, you dang sure can't get in a pulpit and smoke weed and you're a minister.
But he's the same minister that said that we should have our own dispensaries. He's the same person that has multiple children outside of his first marriage. So
ask yourself,
doesn't mean that you are. I'm ordained.
So my question is this. So why?
I don't even talk about it.
So watch this. Right, you're absolutely right. So watch this. If all those things are happening, forget about the dress. Let's take the dress completely out of the equation.
Okay.
Why do people show up the new birth in droves every single day?
Well,
because they want to be a part of the circus.
I want to separate that because this was a gala. So in their respect, it was a gala, but it's also a gala for children. On the day you want to pull up Ice Spice. Ice Spice did a SpongeBob, which is supposed to be for a cartoon for children. You want to pull up and look and see what Ice Spice wore, and it was inappropriate. It isn't really, to your point, Rod, about who they are, but because of who you are and whose you're claiming
representation,
to be, you should be appropriate. And
I completely agree with that.
But it wasn't appropriate for
I agree with that
she was going to.
I agree with that. I agree. I completely agree.
Let me ask you, who you think she was trying to outshine? Other females or men? Or
other females.
Look at me.
Women dress for women.
No, yeah, women dress for women. So my whole point is he already knows that. Hence why he went ahead and rubber stamped and said you should wear that because he wants everybody to look at his wife.
Look what does she have on? to a children's.
I can see her panties.
It was a thong.
Wow.
You can see the
Yeah,
back. It was a thong.
Turn
I
around,
can-
Ice
yeah.
Spice. Let's see it from the back. I can't
wow.
see it from the
But
back.
I don't. But look, y'all. I know she's a celebrity, and I know she dresses the way she dresses when she performs. I get that. But like you said, Sophie, I don't need my child at a SpongeBob SquarePants movie
Meet and greet.
seeing this. I don't.
Child height.
I don't want. Yes, I don't want my children's teacher to walk into class like this. I don't want my children's doctor to walk. I just don't want that, because it's a time and a place for everything. And I understand, Sherrod, what you're saying, that she can wear what she wants and it looks amazing and it's tasteful for the gala. I get that. But now if it's a gala for a fundraiser for children, that's another element. Now you add that she's a minister's wife. That's another element. Now you add that she's the first lady of a church, not just a minister's wife like Megan Good, but the first lady. And that's another element. I understand all of that, but you know, the husband should have been like, hey, maybe this ain't as appropriate, but, you know, just because, you know, I know we want to be popping. I know we want to hit the red carpet. I know we want to stunt, but let's be appropriate, because you're still
so this goes back to my point. Is it her fault or is it her husband's fault?
Well, he allowed it.
No,
she's
Here's
a
another question.
representation of her husband. He allowed her to wear that. Stop.
She's a reflection of her husband.
Yeah,
And
reflection,
same thing.
representation.
You're right. I won't do that to you.
Yeah, whatever you want to use, whatever
Is
you
it
want to
the
use.
dress?
He still has the right to say, "Babe, don't wear that shit. Don't wear
Okay.
that."
Is
was
it the
another-
dress itself?
It's
or
not
the
like she
fact
got. It's not
of
like she
what
vetoed what he said.
Hold on, let Sandra speak. Go ahead, Sandra.
I was just wondering, is it the dress itself, or is it because of how it's made and the color? So if it was a different color but the same dress, let's just say it was all black, and it doesn't give you the perception that it's nude.
Well,
would it be a different conversation?
It would be a different conversation. This is David's opinion. It would be a different conversation, because if it's all black and you don't have the wires pulling into the coochie area, then she's just wearing a nice black dress. It's sleek, it's sexy, but I mean, she's covered up. Now, like you said, Sandra, we can't see her areolas. It's not like we could see through it, right? But it gives the image of nakedness because it matches her skin tone perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it gives the image. But I think if it was all black, it would not be a problem. Maybe take the wiring out of it. Maybe make it just black and smooth, and you have no issue. But I got a better question for the panel. What if she was built like Taylor Swift? What if she was a beanpole with no curves and she wore that dress? Would we be tripping? Would we be tripping if a pastor's wife was built like a beanpole and wore that dress? Because, you know, a beanpole ain't gonna accentuate.
It's the same.
It'll just be a bunch of memes of them making fun of her.
Just like we did, and we clowned because Dr. Benjamin Carson, who ran for president from the same church, going back to, I'm not, and for those of you who are Seventh-day Adventists, I'm not trying to clown us, but we really did drag Ben Carson's wife. Look at her. She is the 1,000,000,000% opposite of Pastor Jamal's wife, and we clowned her. We were like, why is this woman up on stage with a dress down to her knees? Her hair wasn't done, nails wasn't done. So you have to find a way where we can just meet in the middle. Dr. Ben Carson, if you look up his wife, he ran for president and she did not. I mean, it was like, what?
At all.
And doctor's
she was
wife,
filthy.
she didn't even,
she was filthy.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
But guess what though? At the end of the day, she was filthy though. We was like, damn, you let your wife come out the house looking like that, dog. At least you could have got a hot comb through that thing.
Hold on.
Look at me.
But guess what though? My whole point. Hey,
are we acknowledging Sophie? I heard somebody wore a dress.
Same dress.
Sophie.
Yes.
That's inappropriate.
Inspired by.
Inspired by.
Wait, who's on this? Blow that up.
I'm trying to zoom in. It's not letting me. That's Sophie Rose, man.
That's Sophia.
Is that the same dress?
It's similar. Inspired by the first lady.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But my whole point is, where were you at when you wore this dress, Sophie?
I was in AI.
That's good one.
All right, so that was AI. That's
Yeah.
She
crazy.
was.
I
She
mean,
wasn't with a minister or pastor.
You know, I gotta chill.
I'm gonna say this, Sophie. The dress still ain't appropriate for a first lady. It just
Oh,
ain't.
it's
I'm
not.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
No. Stop,
I'm
guys.
sorry.
Stop. Y'all are pulling y'all own feelings and emotions and egos into this crap. If you got a woman who got a banging body, I've seen Sophie one time in life, in person, in a green, hunter green dress. And I told Sophie when I first met, I said, Sophie, you look amazing. I didn't even recognize who you were because I've only seen you sitting
It was
down.
actually similar to the. It was black, but I had a fur thing on my shoulder. It was very similar to what she wore.
Yeah,
The first.
there's nothing wrong with that.
It was kind of sheer like that. Yeah. So
I don't care. I don't care who you with. I don't care if he's a minister, he's a pastor. I don't care about none of that crap. Look, if you came out the house wearing it and you can wear it and it looks tasteful and it looks nice, it wasn't showing too much. It wasn't showing too much skin. And God knows Sophie got every curve in the world. It's fine. Be confident in the person you with because you know who you married. Stop getting hung up on all this other cliche shit that people be talking about. Who cares? Leave the noise outside. As long as y'all cool. As long as you cool with what your wife got on, be cool with it.
No, it was terrible. We went to a gala and it ended up being a lot of church folk there. So
church folk don't do nothing but judge.
Church folk are not having
church folk. I don't even listen to church folk.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that I'm pretty sure she got looks because I know when I wore mine, I got looks. They didn't even leave. They were like, okay, I wanted to go get my food. Like, no, you go ahead and sit down. We'll bring your food to you. They was not letting me up around their husbands. No, they were not.
I mean, you know, at church they'll cover a woman's legs if her skirt's too high or if she's praying and she's, you know, if she falls out and her dress moves, they'll cover up with the cloth. You know what I mean? They'll cover you because they just don't want to show legs.
Where they get this cloth from? What kind of cloth is it?
It's linen.
Linen cloth, you know.
From the in remembrance of table, they took the cloth from that table.
No. It's a separate linen.
They have a certain cloth. Yeah.
Oh, they got a cloth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Carl. You gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say, you know, respect is a big word when you're talking about religion, cultures, practices, and even just your whole what's the word I'm looking for with an M? Modesty.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, this is why when you go to church, the choir, the first lady, the pastor, the reverend, I don't want to see your nuts. I don't want to see your breasts. That's why everybody wears a robe. So you can't see none of that stuff. Just saying.
I agree. But Carl, let me ask you a question. Whose fault is this for her coming out of the house like that?
Well, I know this much. When you get ready to go to church, your self-responsibility is to look in the mirror. And you know what you should or should not be wearing or how something should be looking on you. Okay. Because you know where you're about to go. So if you know you're going somewhere where you may have to bend down or stand up or any type of movement, you know, one of the things that irritate the hell out of me about women growing up, and I'm going to say this for the first time loudly, why put on something that every 5 minutes you got to keep pulling it down? That is so irritating.
Because it's part of the game, brother. So once again, it's only one person's fault in this whole situation and scenario. It's the pastor's fault because he allowed his wife to go out the house looking like that because he was comfortable in his own skin saying, walk, baby. And plus, they newlyweds. Stop. He said, you ain't even got to leave the house. We ain't even got to go.
I am all for male, female, all of this. You know, I was raised around a lot of stuff, but this word allow, it just irritates me.
What's a good word? I don't want that to be a trigger for you for the rest of the night. What's a good word?
It is good because it's
okay. Let me get out of your trigger pool then. Let me give you another adjective or verb we can use.
But I mean, but Carl,
he had no problem with his wife wearing that when he went out. Is that better for you, Carl?
What word would you prefer, Carl? And I'm saying that because the husband, and we're talking about church. We're talking about Christian.
Allow.
biblically, God,
Allow.
husband, wife, children. That's
Allow. Old
that's the
Testament
order.
call.
So if you're the head,
Leviticus and all that.
if you're the head, you should have at least veto power. Okay. And like Sharad said, if a minister or a regular husband says, baby, you can't wear that. That's, you got everything hanging out, or it's too sexy.
He
for what we
accepted
trying
the
to do.
fact
But
that she
babe,
wanted to wear it. Is
Hold
that
on, but
better?
if you say
Right.
it, if you
Accepted.
say,
Huh?
he accepted.
He accepted the fact that she wanted to wear that dress.
I mean, hey,
He was in
you
acceptance
cool with the word?
agreement.
You cool
Is
with the
that
word?
good for you, Carl?
I love the sentiment. I love the whole.
How about obey? Because that's Old
Shut
Testament
up,
too.
Rod.
Now I'm just
Shut
giving you
up.
Old Testament.
Right,
Since we're in the first 33, we ain't gonna go to the back. Let's go to the front.
Right, trolling. So hold on, y'all.
I just want to know what's good with you.
But let's make a point.
Woman, obey thy husband, right?
But let's make a point, y'all. Let's make a point. The point is, if you are a husband and you say to your wife, "Baby, I don't like that. That's not good. That's not what we're trying to portray," or "I love it. That's too sexy for what where we going and who we are. Let's keep that at home." And she says, "Man, F you. I'm gonna wear it anyway." And then they proceed to get in the limo. They proceed to get in the Uber, whatever. And then she shows up like that. Is that a problem?
Ike and Tina.
Right? I think that's a problem because now you are disrespecting me because I've asked you not to do that. And that's a bit much for you to walk out the house like that. Now imagine if it was see-through and you could see areolas. Imagine if all those colors were literally her flesh, like the Ice Spice dress where you could see her panties through the dress. That would be a problem, y'all. That would be a problem because you should have, I'll say it diplomatically, you should have veto power. You should be able to say, "Hey, babe, that's too much. I'm not cool with that." And she should be able to say, "Okay, husband, you know what? Maybe you're right. Let me rethink what we're doing."
You should be able to tell her not to wear it, and she should be able to obey, is what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So
okay.
Tyrese,
she should have the ability to.
Yeah.
Tyrese, the singer, recently was on Instagram page, and him and his girlfriend were on live, and they were getting ready to go somewhere, and he told her, that's too much booty. You need to cover up. And it ended up, I'm not sure if you can research that, but I think when you're going somewhere that you should be dressed appropriate for the event and for that you can match. And another thing too, he's not as tall. We already talked about her dress, but Jamal Bryant is not no 6'3".
No, he's not. I know that for a fact.
Go back to the picture. He is short. That is not 6, whatever he tried to say he was.
He's the
How
same height.
How tall is she? How tall is she?
She's probably like 5.
She's 5'10", and he's about
tall.
same. He's the same height like Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin is short.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a tiny guy.
Let me play her. They were on the Tamron Hall show recently. Let me play what she said on Tamron Hall. All right, I'm sure you guys have heard it if you've been following, but let me go ahead and play it. That's what I'm looking for. All right, here it is, Tamron Hall.
Have even a sliver of doubt before you walked out to go to the event about the dress and that it might create a stir.
People have said, she knew it would get this reaction. My ego is not that big. Wow. I don't dress for people. I dress for myself and for my husband. I am a wife. Yeah. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I have a doctorate. I'm a professor. There are plenty of things that I do. And the challenge is we often want to see a woman be one-dimensional. I am multidimensional. I carry multiple titles. Now, what you choose to call me on whatever day is fine for whatever that might be. But I think that there is this idea that a woman can only be one thing. And once I happen to marry a pastor, I happen to fall in love with a man who is a pastor, right? And so with that came the title of First Lady, but there is no book for that. There is no manual for what that looks like. And I have decided that the title does not define me. I define what the title is.
All right, so she's saying.
So you heard the cop out and excuse right there. And listening to her, does it sound like she wears the pants in that house, by the way?
I don't know. I'm listening. I don't know if she's the dominant one wearing the pants, but I will say that he's in agreement with his wife and he approves of whatever she just said.
That sounds like a pimp.
I mean,
Carl, don't say that now.
I don't know.
Don't call a pastor a pimp now. Come on.
Why I can't?
That's extreme.
60% of pastors were
that's
pimps.
That's extreme, Carl.
No, it's not. 60%
That's the
of pimps.
That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of saying let him.
Listen, 60% of pastors, reverends, ministers,
pimps. Absolutely. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Just like you should say he's okay with his wife going out the house like that because he allowed her, he let her. She said it was cool. They said it was cool.
He did,
right?
Yeah, he did.
That's exactly what he said.
But but I heard what she said. She said, "I think, I define." That doesn't sound like a uniform thinking. It's a decision
but guess
made
what, though?
individually.
No. I want you to hear what she's saying. Let's psychoanalyze it. I define what it is because my husband is okay with me defining what it is. Because if he was not okay with her doing that, he would have said something. He didn't say a damn thing on that couch. He looked at his wife and he supported her the entire interview.
But you missed the part
because that lets me know he's content. He found peace in whatever she's done.
Okay, so look at what she's wearing on this show. How come she didn't wear the same dress on the show? She's fully
because she's on a talk show and she's not at a gala.
Come on, what?
But you dress. Let's be honest though, Sophie. You dress a little bit more provocative at a gala or a black tie affair. You might have on a T-length dress. You might have on a ballroom gown. You dress a little bit more provocative. Your shoulders are usually out because it's a formal event, right? You usually do. When you're on a talk show, this is a different environment. So therefore, you're gonna dress for TV. When you're at a gala, you're really dressing for attention. And like you said earlier, women dress for women.
Now you make a great point.
Though.
You make a great point. I mean, listen, she looked amazing. You make a great point. Right. But and I think we can leave it here.
I barely saw her neck.
I think we could leave it here, y'all. She did dress very well for the gala, but she made a choice, Sherrod. She made a choice to wear that to the gala, and she made a choice to wear this.
Did she say, Dave? I want to make sure I'm not going crazy. She did say there's no book on how to
be a first lady. Yeah, she said that.
Well, that tells me you don't know, so you should have found out before putting that dress on.
She sounded like she was non-denominational too. Like it sounded to me like she might have grew up in around religion, but she's more kind of like self-assertive, more spiritual. She's not following the traditional customs of women in churches.
I'll make a point. Now you make a great point, Sherrod. She definitely ain't Kojic. She ain't Church of God. She not Pentecostal. We're talking about all of them.
Whoa, say that word. Say that word one more time.
She ain't Kojic. She ain't Church of God. She ain't Pentecostal. Because they don't play that. You can't show your ankle.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
I was in the Kojic church for years. So
right?
No, they don't.
So they definitely ain't what we call it, consecrated. They're not. You know what I'm saying?
A&Me Baptist is not like that neither.
We were students. We had to wear our robes as princesses and everything. We had to wear our robes of different colors.
But I ain't gonna lie, man.
To wear regular clothes.
It's hard to pay attention to church these days, though, because it's a lot going on.
That's what I want to get at, and then we're gonna close, y'all, because we got to get up and we got to get up and do the morning show, and I'm trying to keep us to our time. I want to close the statement with this. No matter where she is, she's still a first lady. And even when you look at the clip on the Tamron Hall show, even when you look at the clip, they called her Pastor Carrie Bryant. They called her a pastor. I know she's a pastor's wife, but being that she's a first lady, a lot of times they are co-pastors, right?
That is correct.
And so with the title, whether or not she's ordained, whether or not she just has a title through marriage, she still is wearing that title, right? And she's always a pastor and a pastor's wife. So like you said, whoever said it, she didn't ordain no book. She should have studied old church wives and some ministers' wives. Hey, how do we do this when we want to look sexy at a black tie event, but we still a pastor's wife, you know. So I think she could have done it different. I'm not judging the lady, but I'm saying there's a time and a place
There
for us.
is a retaliation that they have in those roles, because I'm sure she goes through a lot of what she wears, how much jewelry, how much makeup, does she wear weave or not weave, is she natural? So sometimes I think that you do want to just break out and do your own thing. As we talked about Megan Good, I feel like she did the same thing too, trying to conform. I've done it too. It's like, F it. You know, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear and let the chips fall where they may.
And
it's not because you know why, Sophie? It's not in your character to conform. See, women that are certain women that are first ladies, some have been groomed, some have learned, and some conform, but that's what they want. So they will acquiesce to anything that man needs because they want to be that they want to be
they want to be that first lady.
They want to be first lady. But when you get a woman who is, I don't want to say worldly, but she's not of the world, but she's been in the world and she's been some places and she's gotten experiences that don't necessarily fit into that box. Sometimes that's invigorating for the man because he's not used to that. And sometimes that's what makes the marriage last, because it is a breath of fresh air and it's not common. It is uncommon. And sometimes that's what men need, and vice versa.
Different. Yes.
They need that individuality and not the conforming of what has always been done. That's why he married her. See, you got to remember, that's her character. She came to the table dressing provocative.
But
that's why he's with her.
But that's personal. That's marriage. But however, we're talking about public representation, moral standard in religion all over.
Yeah.
You're not, if I said, babe, get dressed, we're going to a masjid. You ain't wearing that.
Yeah.
But that's a masjid though.
Panama Princess said Barack would have never let Michelle leave the house like that, nor would Michelle want to leave the house like that. And we talking about not a pastor, but we talking about a president and the first lady of the country.
And that's who she should have called before she would have went to that gala. Michelle would have told her, this is what you should have been wearing and this is what you should have.
So you okay with Panama Princess saying that Barack wouldn't let her wear that? But when I said it, it's a problem. I just want to make sure, because you was in so much agreement right there, Pastor. Preacher, you was in agreement. You was in agreement. So you cool with that. But when I said it, it's a problem. Okay, Carl, I see how you starting off 26. I see how we starting off 26. I see how we starting off 26.
Hey, so let me say this. I want to say this about Jamal Harrison Bryant. Y'all, and we're not even going to discuss it. I'm just going to leave it here because someone else said it. This is the same man, Jamal Harrison Bryant, who's pushing boundaries and is saying maybe the church should own some dispensaries because now weed is medical. It's the same man that pushing boundaries, right? He's the man that looked at Cam Newton's thighs and said, "You got some pretty legs."
We got all gay churches. We got all kinds of stuff. Go ahead, man. Do what y'all want to do, man. Rewrite the whole thing.
I'm gonna leave it there. That was a lot. That was a lot for me. I'm gonna leave it there, man.
Now, when he said that, I was off the train, bro. I was like, come on,
I said I can't do it.
I ain't commenting on no brother's legs,
I'm not
man.
telling no man he got pretty legs. Damn that. I don't care if they are pretty. Fuck him. Sorry, excuse my language.
Yeah.
Man, it's Dave Life. Y'all just watched the After Dark podcast, episode 333. I'll see y'all next week, man. Thank you, everybody. And for the morning show people, I'm gonna see y'all in the morning, man. Peace.
Turn church into Instagram.